High snap, play action, Nichols underneath, caught, gets away from one tackler, gets away from two tacklers, down the sidelines, one man to beat, stutter step, getting away to the end zone, number 8, Dylan Talley, touchdown, Bowie.
Robertson in motion, Craven's back to pass, goes across the middle, Ghostin holds it in, he's gonna go to the touchdown, to the house, Cravens to Ghostin, Colt, touchdown!
As a tight end, pulls a guard, Barrett finds the hole, follows the pulling guard, cuts outside, bounces outside to the 20, 10, 15, 5, touchdown Bowers, touchdown Bowie!
Out of the stretch. Sky towards left center field. The wind is carrying it. Is it gone? It is! Jackson Irons with a 2-run shot over the left center field fence. He'll plate Wharton, and it's 6-4. There's still an insurance run that is about to get driven in on this base hit. Flores delivers the insurance run. Burkle out of position. They've got to pass, and they've got to go! Patomeco with the pass. Mirario has a bit of a look. Shot on goal, and he gets it in! Two tight end set here as we go to the left-hand side with B.J. Rogers. Rogers is into the second level. B.J. Rogers to midfield. One man trying to catch up to him, but he will not. Number 6 in for 6. That will do it.
This broadcast is under intellectual property and may not be repurposed or reproduced without express written consent. Enjoy this presentation from Zach Arnold Productions, Energetic Media Solutions.
It is Bowie game day, but it is also Vernon Wells night. It's a big night at the ballpark at Bowie, and we're here to bring you all of the District 8-6A action coming to you live on YouTube. It is High School Baseball on Zach Arnold Productions, presented by John Wade Roofing. The pregame show, presented by Chapman Cornelius, is coming up right after this. John Wade Roofing is celebrating 40 years serving the Arlington area. John Sr. played for Colt football and was the team MVP in '76. He went on to play for TCU, earning all conference honors. The family has a Colt legacy that spans generations and wants to help your family's roofing needs, plus gutters, painting, solar, and more. For more information, go to johnwaderoofing.com.
If you're a small business owner looking for reliable insurance coverage, or perhaps just navigating the complexities of Medicare, look no further. Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services is a family-owned, independent agency with over 50 years of experience, specializing in tailored insurance solutions for small businesses and their owners. Whether you need property, liability, commercial auto, or even life and health insurance, their agents can help you feel secure in selecting the insurance you need. Call April Chapman or Jason Ott today at 817-265-3346.
Taqueria Taco Express is now the official taqueria of Zach Arnold Productions. They feature 3 convenient locations, including 2 in Arlington and the original site on the Grand Prairie border at I-20 in Great Southwest. Their Taco Tuesday special includes 5 tacos and an agua fresca for just $10. Made from scratch with authentic recipes, you can place single or bulk orders online by going to taqueriatacoexpress.com. Lightning may have prevented Tuesday's action from coming to an end on Tuesday, but here on Friday afternoon / early evening, it's a cool and breezy but rain-free day for baseball, and we're ready for some great district action as the 4-1 in District 8-6A Bowie Volunteers take on the Martin Warriors. Alongside Tim Costello, I'm Zach Arnold bringing you this action. And Tim, you called Bowie last week in what turned out to be a rather disappointing finish for the Volunteers, their first district setback. But they took care of business on the road in Wednesday's action, resuming the game that started on Tuesday. They didn't score anything in the first 3 innings on Tuesday, but then ended up winning the ball game 6-3 on Wednesday.
Yeah, sometimes you just need a little bit of a breather, right? And maybe that rain came at a perfect time. The lightning came at a perfect time on Tuesday to allow the bats to refresh a little bit. You get a chance to sleep on what you were doing wrong. And then, hey, you come back out, you wake up a little bit hotter, a little bit more relaxed than you were, and you get a chance to go put some runs on the board the very next opportunity you get.
And it was a complete team effort from these Volunteers as we saw 8 out of the 9 starters reach safely on that Wednesday afternoon action. There was only one player that went over that did not reach on a Martin mishap, but that is one of the other highlights that we noted during our unofficial scorekeeping of Tuesday/Wednesday's action. The Martin Warrior defense committed a total of 5 defensive errors, and Bowie took advantage, getting a couple of unearned runs en route to that 6-3 win.
And that was what hurt them. Friday night last week was 5 errors that they made defensively on their own. So that's what we've seen early on, at least in the high school season, and really in high school baseball in general, right, Zach? Is if you can field it well, that's going to give you a huge advantage in general, right? The team that typically makes the most errors is going to lose, and you want to do everything you can to make sure you're not that team.
Right. No, absolutely. You got to play fundamentals, and that's why they do these types of in and out routines that you see here on the live screen view on your YouTube channel. We're doing the pregame show a little bit early tonight because we have a special guest that we're honoring here at the ballpark at Bowie, and someone that we're going to get to have a conversation with during the course of the ballgame.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that and a ton. It's been a while since I had a chance to sit down with a former major leaguer, but you never want to pass those opportunities up, Zach.
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah, you can see that the left field wall has a tarpaulin covering it. If you're looking really, really closely next to the letter B for Bowie out there in center field, they're going to have a big reveal. They'll have some special things they're going to say about Mr. Vernon Wells, class of 1997 for Bowie High School, and probably the most famous baseball alum to come out of this Bowie Volunteer program. It's an exciting night as we get to pay our respects and our honor to him, but we also have some respects that we need to pay to some of our proud partners. The pregame show is presented by Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services, Inc. They are a family-owned business with a team of professionals who have served the Arlington area for over 50 years. So don't let insurance be a headache. Chapman Cornelius can help you create a custom insurance plan tailored to your small business's needs and budget. You can call April Chapman or Jason Ott today at 817-265-3346 or go to www.chapman-cornelius.com. Tim, there is not a single team in District 8-6A that has an unblemished record. Right now, it's the Volunteers and the Lamar Vikings up in North Arlington that are atop District 8-6A, both of them with 4-1 records, both of them still with a series against one another to come in the month of April. Arlington High is looking for their 4th district win tonight when they play the Sam Houston Texans, but they will be facing that pitcher in Mark Ramos that took care of business against Bowie. So it's not a guarantee that Arlington will get to 4 wins tonight, and it's not a guarantee that Bowie will get to their 5th win tonight against Martin either.
No, nothing is guaranteed in this game, right? We came into the game last week thinking, hey, Sam Houston is not the best baseball team in this district. They only won 1 game last year. You don't really look at the peripherals, but hey, the 1 game they won last year, Ramos threw a no-hitter.
Right.
And so when you start looking in, you start digging in a little bit more, and you get granular, and you look at the real minute details of these things. Defense matters, and behind Ramos last week, Sam Houston fielded the ball well, and they made the plays they needed to make, and they got just enough, offensively to put pressure on the Volunteer defense. Right? They didn't get a ton of big hits. They had 1 or 2 doubles, but a lot of it was put the ball in play, put pressure on the defense to make a play, and when you can do that, especially at this level, enough, that's what really will lead to some success, right? Don't strike out, put the ball in play, hit it hard, and run out everything. And when you do that, nothing is guaranteed in life, and nothing is guaranteed in this game. And if you play it the right way, you'll give yourself an opportunity.
One of the big X factors that was not present in last week's game that will have a big impact in tonight's game is in the form of number 9, Isaiah Henderson. He is the leader of this Bowie Volunteer team, the emotional leader, the physical leader, has hit a couple of home runs already, and he's going to be getting the start on the mound as well. So when you have the heart and soul of your team that is missing, it's good to have him back, especially on your home turf on a big night when you're honoring one of your biggest alums. It just feels like a lot of the right things are coming together for Bowie, but like you said, gotta gotta have a solid game on the mound from Henderson and a solid defense behind him.
It's easy to say, all right, next man up, let's go. But like you said, when it's the heart and soul of the best player on your team, your starting pitcher and your three-hole hitter,
Right.
it's different, right? Things change, and now you're facing the best pitcher that Sam Houston had last week. They were able to attack differently because you didn't have the same protection in the lineup. Things feed into each other, Zach. So yeah, this is a big night for Bowie High School. This is a moment they've been trying to make happen for a long time. So when you're the current team, you take pride in that. Like we're welcoming someone into our house who helped build it, right?
Right.
We wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have the funding. We wouldn't have some of the amenities that we have as a team if we didn't have that first class of athletes that came before us and showed some success. There's some pride that goes in that. There's some pride that you're the team he chose to come back and be honored by, right?
Right.
Because again, this is something that they've tried before, and no one's been able to they hadn't been able to get him to come back to this point, but this year it's happening, and I think as a team you take pride in that and feel a sense of accomplishment. Like, hey, we're playing well enough that this former major leaguer wants to come back and be a part of our program. So I expect to see a solid effort tonight from the Volunteers.
There's definitely a buzz, a certain energy here at the ballpark at Bowie tonight, and we're excited to get to be a part of it. We are just moments away from the ceremony itself for Mr. Wells taking place, and we're going to be able to turn it over to the PA voice of the Volunteers, Yadi Pagan, who was the orchestrator of this event and this evening. Got in touch with Vernon and his family, got in touch with district administration, was able to coordinate schedules with us here at ZAP to be able to broadcast it for those that can't tune in. So please, if you have not yet, click that share button, copy the link, send it to your social media pages, to your group text. Let the folks know that Vernon Wells' ceremony is about to begin. And then right after that, it is baseball time in Texas. Special thanks to our friends at Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services, Inc. for presenting this pregame show. We're going to turn ourselves off and turn it over to the ambiance here at the ballpark at Bowie for your listening and viewing pleasure as we honor Vernon Wells at the ballpark at Bowie.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ballpark at Bowie and to tonight's game between the Martin Warriors and your Bowie Volunteers. Tonight is a special night as we honor a Bowie legend. Before we introduce the man of the hour, please help me welcome special guests, friends, and family who will be participating in tonight's event. The first gentleman I want to introduce, I haven't seen him yet, but I know he's around here somewhere, the athletic director for Arlington ISD, Eric White. The 10th principal of James Bowie High School, Mr. Lee Jones. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Vernon's close family and friends. One of his Bowie teammates, Jason Drake. His family, please help me welcome his grandmother, Carmen Patterson. His sons, TAPS football state champions, Christian and Jace Wells. his wife and high school sweetheart Charlene Wells, his brother Matt Wells, and his father, legendary DFW sports painter Vernon Wells Sr. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the man of the hour. He entered the halls of James Bowie High School where he played quarterback and was an outfielder on the baseball team. In his senior year, he batted .565 with 7 home runs and 20 RBIs. He was the 1997 Gatorade Player of the Year, and he was drafted as the 5th overall pick in the first round of the 1997 Major League Baseball draft by the Toronto Blue Jays. On August 30th of 1999, he made his Major League debut for the Blue Jays only 2 years after graduating from Bowie. He's a 3-time All-Star, 3-time Gold Glove Award winner, 2003 American League Silver Slugger. He played for the Blue Jays, Los Angeles Angels, and the New York Yankees. Over his long career, he batted .270 with 958 RBIs and 270 home runs. Please help me welcome back to the ballpark at Bowie, number 10, Wells. Presenting Vernon with a shadow box is the head coach of the Volunteers, Alex Johnson, alongside varsity assistant Nolan Crowdis. And ladies and gentlemen, in just a few minutes, I'll ask you to direct your attention to the area in left center field, where we will unveil a piece of history that will make Vernon Wells' legacy a permanent fixture at James Bowie High School. At this time, I'd like to ask Adrian Barrios and Jaden Kitchens to go out to the tarp in left center field to prepare for that stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, let's start the countdown to immortality. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull the tarp. Ladies and gentlemen, Vernon Wells' legacy is now a permanent fixture at James Bowie High School.
A very special and heartfelt moment here at the ballpark at Bowie as Vernon Wells is honored and his legacy cemented at James Bowie High School. Tim, I heard those stats, and part of me just didn't believe it. Those types of numbers at any level are incredible, and it stands to reason why Vernon is being immortalized here at Bowie.
Yeah, we'll talk about a season worth remembering. Above 500 is pretty darn special. Makes sense why he was drafted where he was. Had the career that he had. I'm very excited to talk to him. You know, I remember Vernon Wells' Major League Baseball career very well. The guy was an all-star, as he said, 3 Gold Glove winner awards. Played for the Blue Jays for a very long time. Short stint with the Angels, short stint with the Yankees. But, you know, this guy was a part of the inaugural World Baseball Classic. He was the starting center fielder for a team that had Ken Griffey Jr. on it, this guy was the one starting in center field over Ken Griffey Jr. So a wonderful career, a wonderful ceremony that they put together, and really cool, to look and see his name there in left field for, eternity, realistically. I think back in my high school career, I didn't necessarily do anything jersey retirement worthy, but if I did, this would have been pretty cool.
It's a very cool, very special moment, and it looks like ceremonial first pitch is getting ready to get underway as well.
I saw him taking this pretty seriously. He was out there warming up, stretching the arm a little bit. I think we're going to get a good looking heater here, Zach.
Vernon Wells Sr. Vernon, when you're ready, fire a strike to your father.
Look at that strike.
That is indeed a strike. And it's a heck of a night here at the ballpark at Bowie. Just moments away from getting underway. We'll take a short break and be right back with the starting lineups for Martin at Bowie. This is High School Baseball on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing.
If you're like me and need printed materials to get your brand out there to the community, then you need Eka Signs. Conveniently located in central Arlington, Eka features a wide selection of shirts, hats, banners, yard signs, acrylics, magnets for your car, magnets for your fridge, tumblers, A-frames, and more. Call Eka at 817-617-2229 for more information and tell them Zap sent you.
The umpires have arrived, and the coaches are about to meet behind home plate, which means it is time for baseball in Southeast Arlington. It's the Martin Warriors and the Bowie Volunteers. Bowie took game one of this series, although it took 2 days to do it. Final score in that one, 6-3. They're hoping for their first sweep of the Warriors in goodness knows how long. Martin has been a perennial power in this district for a long time, Tim. And it's going to be interesting to see what kind of fight they have in order to maintain that reputation and playoff positioning.
That's the fun part about high school sports in general, though, Zach, is the tides change. Things change over time. All it takes is one or two really good classes to change an entire culture, realistically, and an entire sport for a team. So when it comes to baseball, especially, if you can get 7, 8 kids really can affect things. It can affect some really positive change if you've got 2 or 3 really good arms, a couple really good sluggers. Get other kids to buy in with them. Hey, come work out with me. Come throw with me. Come do these other things with me. You can really change a program. And so it's nice to see those things on Bowie's side, right? That they have got that group of kids that want to be the best, that they want to affect that positive change. And it's nice to see it working out, and I hope they get the win tonight. I hope this is the tide changing in Arlington ISD.
Let's meet the starting lineups before they get introduced to the field here by the PA voice of the Vols, Yadi Pagan. First for the visiting Martin Warriors with a season record of 6-9, 2-3 in 8-6A. Leading off and playing second base, number 8, Devin Luna. Batting second and catching, number 17, Min Bay. Batting third and pitching, number 17, Ian Vaca. Batting cleanup at third base, number 1, Damian Openshaw. Batting fifth, the DH, number 2, Luca Flores. Batting sixth in left field, number 3, Garen Powers. Batting seventh in right field, number 7, Josiah Obunasar. Batting eighth at shortstop, number 4, Jacoby Hazen. And rounding out the order in center field, number 15, Slade Owen. The first baseman, Josh Heisey, number 16, is being DH'd for. Defensively for the Volunteers, Ortega's at first, Caber is at second, Uribe's at third, Vega's at short. Alex Rojas is being DH'd for and playing left field for the Volunteers. The center fielder is Turner, and the right fielder is Wheeler. The battery defensively for Bowie with a season record of 13-4, 4-1 in 8-6A. Behind the plate, Roberto De Leon, and on the mound, as we mentioned during the pregame show, Tim, it's Isaiah Henderson. Henderson on the mound.
I haven't had a chance to see Henderson pitch yet this season. I'm looking forward to it. I don't think Turner pitched poorly last week, but you you always want to see a team's ace if you have the opportunity to.
Absolutely.
So, looking forward to that. I think we should have a good mound matchup this week. I think we should have a great game. You looked out all day and it looked like there was a big storm coming, but here we are nearing 7 o'clock, and that bit of wind we had from 6 to 7 seems to have pushed the clouds out of the way.
More or less. And it's a blessing too, because I've got a pretty big day tomorrow, and trying to push back the games into tomorrow's schedule would have been difficult to accomplish. So I will take the blessings as they come. And it's a special blessing to just be on the call for such a special game, and to be on the call with you for the first time this season. You and I have been on either ends of the city and either ends of the district. We called a game or two of football during the fall, but it's fun to get to be on the headset with you, my friend.
Yeah, very much so, and appreciate the opportunity to be out here with you. It's a beautiful day for baseball here in Arlington, Texas.
Volunteers are getting ready to take the field. They will be in their blackout jerseys. It's a new uniform being debuted. It's got some blue numbering and orange piping for those of you that may not be able to see it quite as intently on the video feed. The Warriors are in their red jerseys with Martin across the chest and black numbers with gray pants. So not quite a color rush. It's not blue on red, but it's pretty close. And it's a pretty clean look for both of these squads. I always have an appreciation for uniforms at the high school level to see what they decide to go with. Some teams will go pinstripes, and some will go with a new look, and I feel like this is probably a little bit on the newer end for both sets of uniforms, but they both look pretty clean.
Bowie especially has more of that newer trend, right, where you don't have to wear white pants at home. You can wear something else. You can mix it up a little bit, and that's made its way to major leagues with the City Connect jerseys.
Yep.
Or uniforms really, because they do it with the pants too. That we see a lot of these teams wearing. But I love a good uniform too, and I like to differentiate the teams that are you just regurgitating a major league or an NFL logo, or you got something different. And I think both teams here have something a little bit different.
That uniqueness will hopefully be on full display here in just a moment. We're going to pause for the national anthem and then be right back for first pitch here on Zap.
Please rise and remove your caps. To serve us as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
As a great PA announcer across town says, it is baseball time in Texas. Alongside Tim Costello, I'm Zach Arnold, bringing you this District 8-6A action between the Martin Warriors and the Bowie Volunteers. Hit that share button. We're about to get underway as Henderson says a pregame prayer. De Leon greets the umpires. And the leadoff man, Devin Luna, takes some practice cuts in the on-deck circle as we get ready to go here at the ballpark at Bowie. 3:10 to the corners here at the ballpark at Bowie. Straightaway center field reads 375 with the flagpole just behind it.
It seems to be blown in a little bit today. It's kind of coming from right center field towards the third baseline. Right-handers may still be able to get something out down the line, but it's going to really kill the ball from the left-handed batter's box today.
PA voice of the Volunteers, Yadi Pagan, giving us a little bit of love. He's the one that made all of this happen. He orchestrated Vernon Wells' night and also made arrangements for us to have a space up here in the press box. Kind of funny. We actually have media in the media room. It's a cruel irony to a certain extent. Bowie finds themselves in a different position than what they're used to. They finished in 5th place in the district last year, but tonight, with a 4-1 record against the 2-3 Martin Warriors, I'm not a betting man. You're not allowed to bet on high school athletic events, but it would probably stand to reason that the Volunteers may be slightly favored in this game tonight, Tim.
They're playing great ball right now. They've got their stud on the mound. You had a pregame ceremony honoring one of your all-time greats. It's a wonderful opportunity to head into the weekend with a W. So now Luna looks to get things started for Arlington Martin. Henderson kicks and brings the opening pitch. A breaking ball misses away, and we are underway. 6:57 official first pitch here at the ballpark at Bowie. Absolutely wonderful evening, 68 degrees. The clouds have parted as the 1-0 was a tipped foul, 1-1 the count.
And I just got to give some props to the organization's structure of being able to host a ceremony and have first pitch before 7 p.m.
1-1 popped up foul and out of play. When you run a tight ship from the media room the way Yadi Pagan does, that's what we get. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Henderson will rock and fire just a bit high. Runs it even at 2-2. Henderson gets the swing and a miss for the opening strikeout to start the game. Luna goes down.
Batting second, the catcher, number 17, Min Bay.
That brings up Min Bay, the catcher. Looking to get things started for the Arlington Martin Ball Club. First pitch swinging, pops it up foul, should get out of play and does for strike 1. Seems to be a different vibe from this Bowie team on the field today versus just 1 week ago, Zach.
Well, after the momentum from their win on Wednesday, they're coming into this with probably a good bit of confidence, having won against these Warriors.
0-1 hit right back up the middle. Bay reaches base with a 1-out single. Good piece of hitting there from the catcher, sending it right back up the gut.
Number 20, Ian Vaca.
Yeah, Henderson had to duck away from that one, didn't even have an opportunity to make a play on it. As a courtesy runner will come in at first base. I believe I read on the lineup that it will be Brooks Briggins who's the courtesy runner today.
At first base, Brooks Briggins.
There you go, right on the money, Zach.
That's a number 19 on the jersey. We'll confirm that that is Briggins.
First pitch is in there for a called strike to the pitcher, Vaca. Mound counterparts taking part of their first duel of the night. The 0-1 breaking ball, soft liner into left field. That's going to land in the gap. Turner rocks and fires towards the cutoff man. Ball scoots through towards third into second base safely with a 1-out double. That put runners on second and third with just 1 out in the inning.
And that's something that Martin did not do a whole lot of on Wednesday, was put it in the outfield and put it in the gap. as Vaca puts it where the defense is not.
Third baseman, number 1, Damian Openshaw.
Well, that brings up Openshaw, the third baseman tonight. RBI opportunity early in this game. Runners are at second and third. Infield comes in with just one out in the inning. First pitch, a breaking ball, misses low and away. This one hit into the air, playable in left field. We'll see if they try and tag. It's shallow, making the catch at the cusp of the infield. For out number 2 is the left fielder, Alex Rojas. Good job there by Henderson to get in on the hands of Openshaw.
Batting fifth, the designated hitter, number 2, Luca
Got in on the
Flores.
hands, and then his defense backed him up. It's good closing speed by the left fielder to haul in out number 2.
And that will bring up the designated hitter, Luca Flores. First pitch, an elevated fastball, swing and a miss for strike 1. Henderson can get out of this unscathed. That might give him just that little bit of spark he needs going into the second inning. Seems to have a little bit of juice on that fastball right now. Ball gets away from the catcher, but collecting it quickly is Roberto De Leon, making sure that no one can advance, and it stays scoreless in the first inning.
Yeah, that's a good job corralling it there by De Leon. That's something that he excels at. It's making sure it doesn't get past him.
1 ball, 1 strike. 2 on, 2 outs, top of the first inning. Breaking ball just misses outside. Good looking little slider there from Henderson. Just didn't quite get the call. Here's his 2-1. Inside, ball 3. Powers waits on deck. Here's the 3-1. Hit on the ground towards short. Fielded cleanly. The throw across the diamond in time for out number 3. Vega takes care of business for out number 3, and Henderson gets out of it unscathed. We head to the bottom of the first inning from Bowie High School on the Zap Network. We'll be right back after this.
Page's Pretty Roots is a Texas-based small business where you can discover handcrafted treasures designed to nurture your body and soul. From custom t-shirts that showcase your unique style to nourishing sugar scrubs and moisturizers made with love. Whether you're looking for a fun fashion statement or all-natural self-care, you'll find something special here. Shop now and experience the magic of handmade by scanning the QR code or searching Page's Pretty Roots on Etsy.com.
Bottom of the first inning, scoreless game between Arlington Martin and Bowie High School. Let's take another look at this Volunteer lineup. Jackson Turner gets things started, followed by Christian Uribe and Isaiah Henderson. Hitting fourth is Roman Ortega. Fifth, Jason Wheeler. Sixth, Brody Ferguson. Seventh, Josh Caber. Eighth, Roberto De Leon. And hitting ninth, Andrew Vega. So again, it's Turner, Uribe, Henderson, Ortega, Wheeler, Ferguson, and Caber, De Leon, Vega. Defensively for the Warriors, it goes around the horn. Openshaw, Hazen at shortstop. Second base is Luna. First base tonight is Josh Heisey. Left field is Powers. Center field, Owen. Right field is Bumasar. Behind the dish is Bay, and on the mound is Vaca. Tested me early here.
Yeah, we're going to be practicing those pronunciations for the entire ball game.
Don't forget, we get an opportunity to sit down with the man of the hour, Vernon Wells, in the second inning. Be sure to stay tuned for that interview. Jackson Turner looks to get things started in this first inning. First pitch from Vaca just misses outside for ball 1. turn a favorite food as pasta. I feel that, my man. 1-0, misses outside as well, 2-0.
There's so many different types of pasta, though.
That's why it's a great favorite food. You're not
That's
pigeonholing yourself.
That's like saying pizza. Are we talking about Supreme? Are we talking about classic cheese?
Always yes on the cheese. Probably not for Supreme. Here's a 2-0. Catches the corner for a strike, 2-1. Pasta's great. You can go mac and cheese, you can go spaghetti and meatballs, a little spaghetti carbonara for breakfast. Here's a 2-1. Fouled out of play.
I suppose technically lasagna would classify as a pasta.
Absolutely. Absolutely it does. I make an enchilada pasta. That's fantastic on a cold winter's eve. Some like a fettuccine alfredo.
That's what I get when I go to a seafood restaurant.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Fouled out of play. Turner's favorite movie, Project X. I don't know if I've seen that one.
Yeah, I don't know if I have either, and I like to consider myself a film buff, so I'm going to have to give it a try.
There's the 2-2. This one a little squibber up the first baseline. Tough play to field cleanly. Throw is high, but coming back down in time is the first baseman, Heisey, for out number 1.
So 1-3 put out on a bang play at first. That's a testament to the speed of the center fielder, Turner. And you almost saw a defensive error there with that high toss from the pitcher, Vaca. Martin needs to keep those to a minimum if they want to have a chance here tonight.
Uribe waiting on his first pitch of the bat, pumps the bat up and down on his back shoulder before spinning out on a bad breaking ball for ball 1. Working quickly as Vaca as he brings the 1-0, little jam shot line drive towards second base, fielded cleanly and thrown in time for out number 2. It was the second baseman, Luna, taking care of that one. It's a tough play with the spin and the hop. Good job by Luna to take care of it cleanly. Now Henderson looking to take care of business on his side of this duel. He allowed a double to Vaca when they faced off in the top half of this inning. First pitch hit hard on the ground towards short, and that's through for a 2-out single. Henderson looks to get things started in the first inning with a 2-out single.
It's a good piece of hitting there by Henderson. Puts it past both outstretched attempts by the defense there.
Now the first baseman, Ortega, gets a chance to take a few hacks. Henderson with a healthy lead at first base. Ortega takes a breaking ball just a bit outside for ball 1. This ball hit into the air, playable in center field. Going back on it and dropping it is the center fielder. Coming around third, looking to score is Henderson. He dives, he's safe. Unable to make the play out there is Owen. And that allows the Volunteers to jump on the board. We said it in the pregame show, Zach. Defense, defense, defense. And the first blemish is against the Warriors.
Yeah, we have to count that as an E8. It went off of Owens' glove and allows Henderson to come in to score. That first run of the game is the first taco tally. All first runs of the game are presented by Taqueria Taco Express this season. Visit any of their 4 locations on Taco Tuesday for their $10 meal special.
First pitch high and inside to the right fielder, Jason Wheeler. Looking for another 2-out RBI. We're already up 1-0 in the bottom of the first inning. Vaca rocks and fires. This one just a bit inside for a ball, 2-0. I don't know if it's because of the wind or he just always does it this way, but Owen plays a very shallow center field. That might have cost the Warriors a bit, especially with the way the sun is right now. 2-0 offering is high and inside, 3-0.
If he should find a way aboard, the designated hitter would be the next man up in the lineup.
Here's the 3-0. Side ball 4. That'll put another runner on base with 2 outs. Maybe Henderson did start a little 2-out rally.
If there's anybody who could, it'd be him. And that looks like Coach Matt Waller, a little frustrated with the way things have developed since Henderson got aboard. And he will have a meeting of the minds in the Ring of Fire.
Don't want to let things get out of control. All right, you already have one unearned run that has come in. But at the end of the day, if you can get out of this inning with just the 1 run, that's not that bad. But you just want to make sure that at the end of the day, it's just the 1. Don't let it get away from you.
Part of me is excited because we've got a 2-out rally going, but part of me is also excited for the second inning. Our special guest has arrived, so fans be sure to stick around for that second inning. A one-on-one with Tim Costello and Vernon Wells.
A fantastic interview. But first, let's hope this Volunteer offense can strike again. Brody Ferguson, the designated hitter tonight. Vaca takes a look at second base before kicking and firing. This one hit well into left field, could be playable. Coming on and putting it away for out number 3. That'll do it in the bottom of the first inning, but Bowie strikes first blood, 1-0 in favor of the Volunteers. We will head to the top of the second on the Zap Network after this.
Hey, Arlington residents, if you're like me and tired of rising insurance rates, then it's time to make the switch to Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services. Since 1984, they've been your trusted local insurance experts, offering competitive quotes for all your needs. Auto, homeowners, umbrella, renters, boats, and even classic cars. Why settle for less when you can get the best? Compare coverages today and see how much you can save by visiting chapman-cornelius.com. Chapman Cornelius, your local insurance partner since 1984.
Hey, this is John Wade Jr., Colt Football 97, class of 98. And the next time you have a roofing issue, be sure and call Arlington's favorite roofer, John Wade Roofing. Look us up on the internet at johnwaderoofing.com.
Top of the second inning back at Bowie High School on the Zap Network, and I am extremely honored to have the man to my right joining us on the Zap broadcast tonight, the man of the hour, Vernon Wells. Vernon, welcome to the broadcast. Appreciate you joining us tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's good to be back.
Is this the first time you've been back to Bowie High School since draft night, or have you made it back before?
Been back a couple times, and Monday I actually got a chance to come and talk to the team, so it was fun. Got to have them sit down and chit-chat for about an hour and a half and just get to know them a little bit. But it's always good to get back over here.
Absolutely, and I couldn't help but notice I had a bunch of questions written down for you, but I had to add one more. I'm a new father myself. My daughter's only 21 months old, but I noticed you did the first pitch to your dad. I'm sure you guys have played 1,000 games of catch in your life, but what was it like, get to do that just one more time and throw in one more pitch to him?
It was neat because he was actually the PA announcer here too when I played. So, yeah, he had to sacrifice a lot, obviously, for me to get to where I wanted to get to, and just thankful for every blessing that I was able to have as a kid.
Absolutely, as the 1-0 to Powers is in there for a strike, and we mentioned you were drafted in the first round in high school. Obviously, the celebration's a little bit different when you're not quite 21, but take us through draft day if you can. What was that day like for you as you started your process to Major League stardom?
Yeah, back then, obviously those days are a little bit different now. Everything's on TV. For me, it was just a phone call and a pre-draft deal that was done, so I knew everything that was going to happen on draft day. But it was obviously the memory of Blue Jays coming into the house, negotiating a deal, and being that fifth pick. It's began the beginning of the dream that I always had, and just thankful for just to just to even start there, and then obviously be able to play for the next 15 or so years in professional baseball.
2-2 foul back and out of play. And you mentioned it was the Blue Jays that took you with that fifth pick overall. You're a Texas kid. Now you live in Canada. What was that transition like? Do you remember your first plate of poutine? Was it enjoyable for you, or you spent a long time in Toronto? So obviously it was a pretty good experience as the 2-2 was swung on and missed for out number one.
Well, to this day, I still haven't had poutine. I couldn't bring myself to do it. I felt that if I did, I'd be crossing over boundaries that I shouldn't be crossing. So I never did it. But it was, yeah, going to St. Catharines, Ontario from Arlington, Texas was a culture shock. Just didn't even know it existed. The only cool thing was it was on the other side of Niagara Falls, so bus rides we would pass Niagara Falls all the time. But after the first probably the first two times you pass it, you don't take your eyes off the movie you're watching. So that was that.
Pitch misses low and away. They looked at first base. Yes, he did go around for a strike. Now, obviously, the weather a little bit different up in Canada. What was that off season? Did you stay around in Canada? Or were you coming back home? Was this one's hit into left field and off the wall for an extra base hit?
Timing of baseball is good. With it being in the summer and being up in Canada for the summer. So once I was established in the big leagues in Toronto, it was you get up there when you have to and leave when you can. And if you end up having a house up there, you shut it down for the winter, and then try to get back once things thaw out.
And you made your debut. You're only 21 years old when you get the call up to that Toronto Blue Jays roster. Walk us through that. What was it like getting the opportunity to, grace the big league field for the first time?
Well, that year in general was crazy. I started off at A ball and spent half the season there, and then a month in Double A, a month in Triple A, and then a month in the big leagues, all in the same year. It was a whirlwind. Like it was something that I wasn't expecting to start that season off and to be where I got to get in the big leagues. And then from that point on, it was just what I needed to do to stay at this level.
Pitch catches the outside corner for a strike, 1-1 the count. And you mentioned that shock. It took you maybe a couple years to really settle in at the big league level. What was it like for you to see some of that, go back down to the minors, have a chance to work at it, come back in, get tested again? How did you handle that adversity early on in your career?
The first time I didn't handle it very well. Then after being in the big league at such a young age, and then you go back to spring training and have a decent spring training, think you're going to make the team and get sent down. Uh, didn't handle it very well. And my numbers reflected that in AAA, and so it was a good learning lesson for me. But going back to spring training the following year, I think I had 380 that spring training and still got sent down again. But I knew at that point it was just a numbers game. We had three veteran outfielders. There wasn't a spot for me, so I handled it, learned a lot about myself, and became a better person and player because of it.
You played with some great ball players up in Toronto, eventually with the Angels and Yankees as well. But I have a lot of fond memories of some of those Toronto teams, especially from the video games that I played growing up. One of the guys I really loved hitting with, Carlos Delgado. What was he like as a teammate? What was his approach? He seemed just like one of those machines who was a professional who just came in and day out and was going to get you a couple knocks, an RBI, maybe a bomb.
Yeah, definitely maybe a bomb. He helped me out so much. We were my first full season in '02. I was started off hitting behind him. Then probably a few weeks in, I was sitting in front of him. And just the conversations we would have about pitchers and approach and what we're thinking going into certain situations. It was hugely valuable for just my maturation process as a hitter. He helped me out so much. So anytime I get a chance to say something good about Carlos, I don't know if I would have had some of the success that I had early on if it wasn't for him.
That guy was a stud. It was probably a bit of a change for you, particularly when he went to the Mets and was no longer a part of that ball club. But man, he was a fun guy to watch. He was a fun guy to use in some of those Ken Griffey Jr. Slugfest games. And
Yes.
did you ever get a chance to like play with yourself in one of those video games where you got to use your own your own character in the game?
Yes. Well skirted on that one. We No, I never did. I never played the video games with myself in them. I did have fans tell me, especially the right field section in Yankee Stadium, tell me how bad I was in the video games.
I'm glad you mentioned Yankee Stadium as the out number 3 is made on a fantastic play. As we head to the bottom of the inning, we're going to stay here so we can continue our conversation with Vernon Wells. I wanted to get to it later on, but you mentioned Yankee Stadium. Um, what is it like going from anywhere else to now being a New York Yankee, right? Because obviously some guys can handle it, some guys don't like the environment. How can you put into words what it's like to play for the Brewers, to play for the Angels beforehand, and then now you're in right field in Yankee Stadium?
Well, I think for me, as a baseball fan, the Yankees, I respected them from the time we played them in AAA. Just the way they carried themselves, it was just a quiet confidence that they knew who they were, and they were the most stored franchise in sports, and they carried themselves that way. So I loved going to old Yankee Stadium and playing there, and just the history of that building. And unfortunately, going through there, they had some really good teams back then in the 2000s. But it was, for me, going against the Yankees and seeing how they conducted their business. It was a blast, and then have an opportunity to finish my career there. Everything I thought about them and heard about them was true. They were first class, from the way they dealt with the family and kids to anything and everything imaginable. There's a reason why people love them or hate them, because they are who they are. They are the top of the food chain when it comes to organizations.
So obviously it's not the case when you were on the team, but now this year you can have a well-groomed beard as a member of the. Would that have changed your grooming decisions in New York if you would have had the opportunity?
Unfortunately, no. My facial hair is poor. It's quite poor. A little patchy in places, and that's great in a lot of places, which I think baseball did that to me anyway. So, yeah, it didn't affect me either way. I was bald from the time that I left this place. It was a whole lot easier just to keep up with.
Stay one, do it number one on everything all the way
Everything,
around. Yeah.
everything was all the way around.
Well, I still remember your appearance with Team USA on the WBC like it was yesterday. It was the first inaugural year of that event. What was that experience like for you? It's almost like a major league all-star team, right? But at the same time, you're representing your country, you're representing America, trying to bring home the win in the first year that the event is around. As this one hit into center field, but playable for out number 1?
Playing on that World Baseball Classic team it was very similar to playing in my first All Star game. Like you said, you're with some of the best to ever play the game, and so on top of that, have USA across your chest, and it was the first opportunity I had to do that. And so for me, and to get to see just how proud countries were of their teams and who they were, and the flags and the chants, it was a different brand of baseball. And you got to see just the when we played Canada, just now they're allowed to show how much they hate us when we played against them. And it was, for those times, I think baseball's done a very good job moving forward to what it is now. Now it's something that it's well thought out. Who's going to be on this team? They know well in advance what that roster looks like, so they can get prepared for that. Because most the Japanese guys that are playing in it, they're in the middle of their seasons, so they're prepared for. They're playing full on baseball. Over here, we're not ready for it. So it was a process that USA has learned to get better at, but still have.
I was very fortunate when I worked in baseball myself. I was with the team that hosted the Chinese World Baseball Classic team on our independent
Mhm.
squad as they tried to be a better baseball nation, right? And it's interesting when you can see how other teams prepare or how other nations prepare, how they play the games, the customs that go with it. I bet that was extremely eye-opening to see, what South Korea does before any of their games, or how they attack, or even the way they pitch, right? There's a lot more of the breaking pitches, more screwballs, more fork balls, a lot less of the guys, farm boys throwing 98 and have been since they were 16 years old, right? They're a lot more crafty on the mound.
They are, and they attack in different ways. Um, with the discipline that they carry, especially the Japan team, getting a chance to go over there and play for Major League All-Star team that we sent over there in 2005. You get a chance to see just how respectful the culture is, how proud they are of the just the love of the game, how proud they are of their country, how well kept a downtown can be. It was the cleanest place I'd ever been to. You never hear people honking, and people are polite, and it was a pure joy just to be in that environment. And we played him in WBC and ended up beating him, but it's that's one country I definitely want to get back to.
And baseball wise, they're just getting better and better, right? Once really it was Ichiro kind of was the turning point. I feel like you had guys before him, especially on the pitching side of things. You had Hideo Nomo, you had Daisuke Matsuzaku. I'm sure you
Yeah.
had to face quite a few times. You Darvish, those guys, but Ichiro was that first real position player. Now, since then, the dam has kind of broke a little bit, and we're seeing just how much talent is over there. Obviously, Shohei, the pride and joy, right? Like that. That's not just Japanese talent. That's just baseball talent. As this one looped into left field for a 2-out single.
Yeah, he's a freak. I don't think there's really any other way of putting it that he's someone we possibly may never see again. He's that good on the mound and at the plate. He can do that type of damage. It's something as a fan of the game and as someone who's played the game, you just sit back and in awe. I know it's very similar to when Mike Trout first got to the big leagues and getting a chance to be on his team, and every night you'd think he can't do anything else that's going to impress me, and each and every night he would. So he's he's Trout plus an ace, which is it's a lot in one body.
This one grounded up the first base side and will be put away for out number 3. So a scoreless bottom of the second inning. We'll head to the top of the third. We're going to stay. We're going to stay with the interview as we get a chance to continue talking to Vernon Wells. You mentioned Mike Trout. He was on the Angels when you were there. You got to see a very young version of him. Or you may be shocked at some of the injuries he's dealt with, or when you saw the young version of himself. I think a lot of people assume this guy could be the next Ken Griffey Jr., right? Where since then he's just kind of been slowed down the last few years by injuries. Are you maybe shocked when you look at the totality of the numbers that they're just maybe not as high as you thought they would be looking early on?
I think people, it's hard. I mean, we all get fixated on the player, how good they are early on, but the toll it takes on you playing a premium position in center field, that it's and he'd steal bases, like those things start to catch up with you physically, and when you start having lower body injuries, they start to compile on each other, and just things don't work the same. I experienced a lot of that playing, and I played on turf, which I actually thought it was normal to be sore 180 days a year because your body gets used to turf, and then you go to grass and your body has to get used to that again. So it was always a constant cycle of just getting used to different surfaces. And for Trout, having that relationship with him, I can always text him and see how he's doing. But he says he's feels as good as he has in years, and I hope he stays that way because I think the game of baseball is better when he's in it.
Absolutely. I still remember that first season where he was going head to head in MVP voting with a guy who literally won a triple crown in Miguel Cabrera. And any other year, that's not even a conversation, right? Because
Right.
Miggy also was unbelievable that year.
Unbelievable that year.
But you had this rookie phenom who just could not be stopped. As first pitch is swung on and missed for strike one to Luna.
Yeah, that was the shock and awe factor of Trout. Um, Miggy, we Miggy, we always knew could hit. I mean, he was one of the best right-handed hitters to ever do it. So for him to have the Triple Crown is probably barely what pushed him over the edge because Trout became a fan favorite year one.
Absolutely. I got a couple more questions I want to make sure I get in. I'm sure everybody has favorite moments, favorite whatever in their career, favorite plays. Do you have one at bat that you just think back and you're like, this is my favorite at bat I ever had? I crushed this pitch, or I did this walk off hit to win a game. Is there one at bat that just sticks out to you that you'll always remember?
Um, there's a few. I guess the biggest one would be a walk-off home run against Mariano. Um,
Not a lot of guys can say that.
no, not. I think that list is pretty short, but they would bring him in to face me sometimes in the eighth, and I was always thankful that they bring him in. I never minded facing him because you knew what you're gonna get. Got it. Yeah, like he started throwing a sinker later on in his career, but that night they brought him in the 10th in a tie game. He, I was looking for the cutter in, and he's one of the few people that it looks like it's going to be a ball, and it would be a ball with every other pitcher, but you have to force yourself to swing at it. If he starts at middle, it's going to be a ball. So I was looking for the one in. Second pitcher I got, swung at it, and it seemed like it was in the air for 2 minutes, but landed just over the fence. And I remember just as soon as I stepped on first base, it was just I just hit a walk-off home run against the best closer to ever do this. So that was a fun moment.
Yeah, that would have to top the list, I think,
Yeah.
realistically. This one fouled back into the screen for a strike. I had a chance to go to what was his last game, although he didn't pitch. He was in Houston for his final series when he was retiring. They had Metallica do a really cool
Yeah, that was cool.
video to him.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Were you on the Yankees at that
I
season?
was that game. I think it went 0 for 6. And wasn't the best way to end my career, but I hated that stadium for some reason. But getting a chance to see him get celebrated everywhere we went, and he was uh, he was a special one and a really good dude on top of it.
Swing and a miss for strike two. You mentioned you didn't like Minute Maid, but now Dyken Park. Where did you like playing? When you left Toronto, when you left Yankee Stadium to hit on the road? What were some of your favorite stops, favorite cities?
I think for me, always sitting in Toronto for me was at the top of the list, regardless of whether I was playing for them or going there on the road, going there as a visitor. There's not too many places where the backdrop is perfect, the lighting is great. I can tell you ones I definitely did not like, and Oakland was at the top of that list, and Cleveland was at the top of that list. Uh, and you can go ahead assume anything and everything you want to based off of Oakland and Cleveland. Both places suck.
I think Joe Kim Noah nailed it when they asked him about would you want to move to Cleveland. He's like, do you think Cleveland's cool? Do you think people are taking vacations to Cleveland?
Yeah, no, that's not the place you want to be.
I did not get a chance to go to the Coliseum before they axed it. I got to the Giants ballpark this summer. That one was absolutely gorgeous, playing up against the bay right there.
That's a beautiful park. And unfortunately, and the A's weren't drawing people in that stadium. It was empty all the time. Even during the years of the Mulder, Zito, and Hudson years, they would try to pack it in, and they were loud. The amount of numbers that they had in there, but it took them winning in order for people to be there. If they weren't winning, there'd be 1,200 people in the stands.
Unfortunately, yeah, that was the case with Oakland, and I wanted to ask. I don't want to leave anybody out. I'm sure there's been a lot of excellent teammates that you've had throughout the years. Is there one guy that maybe stands above the rest? Like this guy was my favorite team I ever had. Whether it was at the high school level, is this one grounded towards the pitcher, play us to first route number one?
Good point. As far as teammates, you build relationships with so many guys, and I think that was my goal of playing, was to care more about the people next to me than I did myself. So my relationships or I had a long list of them from Lyle Overbay to John McDonald, Aaron Hill, Orlando Hudson, Doug Gatto, Trout, Torrey Hunter. Jason Nix, a lot of different names, a lot of different guys. Hang out with Jeter, but Jeter was different. He was
What a play in center field. Route number 3. Wow, well that's gonna exciting conclusion to the interview with Vernon Wells on that fantastic play. But Vernon, I'm sure you know plenty about making plays like that in center field. That's how you end up winning 3 Gold Gloves out there.
Yeah, I remember making plays like that. I think they happened.
I watched quite a few of them. I enjoyed watching a lot of your playing career, and I really enjoyed getting a chance to talk with you here this half inning. I really am so thankful you made some time for us here on the broadcast.
Thanks for having me up here. It's good to be back. You guys keep having fun up here calling. Hopefully another winning ball game.
I'll take it, and congratulations on the number retirement. It's got to be a fantastic moment for you.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate that. It'll be fun coming back and getting a chance to see it up on.
All right, we'll take a quick break on the Zap Network. We'll be right back after this.
Taquería Taco Express es la taquería oficial de Zach Arnold Productions. Extraordinaria y auténtica comida mexicana. Aquí encontrarás el mejor menú para el paladar más exigente. Puedes visitarlos en una de sus 3 sucursales ubicadas en Arlington y en Green Prairie. No te pierdas de su grandioso especial todos los martes, Taco Tuesday, de 5 tacos y un agua fresca por solo $10. Para encontrarnos o hacer un pedido, visítalos a su página web taqueriatacoexpress.com.
John Wade Roofing has been serving the Arlington area since 1982, but the Wade legacy runs much deeper in the city of Arlington. A pioneer family that has had roots going back decades, John Wade and Company saw relatives attend the Cooper Street Arlington High campus and has had members play in Colt athletics for decades. And they're looking forward to serving this community for decades to come. Find out more at johnwaderoofing.com.
Bottom of the 3rd inning, a 1-0 lead for Bowie High School, and wow, what a fantastic inning and a half we just had on the Zap Network as the first pitch is swung on and missed by Henderson. He singled and scored in the 1st inning.
When the interview is just that good, Tim, you don't want it to stop.
Yeah, I could have done 9 innings of that. I would be surprised as the 0-1 chopped down the line. Vernon Wells would make a fantastic analyst for a Major League Baseball team. If the Blue Jays broadcast team needed a little bit of inside knowledge, he would be fantastic. Here's the 0-2 to Henderson. Just a bit outside for a ball. I thought the answer about Cleveland was pretty funny, as the 1-2 pitch is in the dirt for a ball.
Well, and the fact that he admitted he played for the Jays organization and never tried the national food of Canada. Even I've had poutine and I haven't even been.
It's pretty good. I mean, cheese fries with gravy, like it's not.
It's hard to complain.
Yeah. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss.
The first baseman, number 7.
You started listing off some of those teammates, though, Zach. That was a walk down memory lane.
Oh, yeah.
Lance Nix, Orlando Hudson, the O-Dog. He was an MVP winner.
Quite a list of teammates and accomplishments. Super grateful for his time coming out here and being a part of the fun at the ballpark at Bowie and a part of the broadcast.
There's guys out there where you hear nothing but great things, and then they show up, and somehow they're still even better in person than what you've heard.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And that was Vernon tonight. I'd never heard a negative thing about him in the baseball community, but shows up tonight is unbelievable. Really a great interview, very insightful on the broadcast. Could not be more thankful for his time. And just again, congratulations on the honor of having your number retired. This one hit foul and out of play for a strike. 2-1 the count to Ortega. He reached on an error in the 1st inning, brought home a run.
Yeah, Martin was threatening in that previous half frame, and then Turner came in with an electric grab out in center, doubling up the runner who was too far from second base. Next thing you know,
the interview's over.
The interview's over, as is Martin's threat in the top of the third. Some great defense on display early in this ball game.
It's a 3-1 pitch. In there for a strike at the knees, 3-2.
Ortega was the winning pitcher in the Tuesday/Wednesday ball game. Only threw 64 pitches to get the 6-3 win.
Ground ball up the third base side, foul. That's impressive.
Well, it was spread out over a couple of days, so he did get a night's rest after about 14 or 15 of those, and then threw the other 50 on Wednesday afternoon.
Even so, to get through, what was it, 2 innings, 3 innings, and 14 or 15 pitches.
Yeah.
Pretty nice. Payoff pitch on the corner, called strike 3 for out, number 2.
Jason Wheeler.
Back-to-back Ks for Vaca after struggling to collect them the first time through the lineup. It's 2 up, 2 down here in the bottom of the third.
So with nobody on and 2 outs, Jason Wheeler, the right fielder, takes his turn. Takes a look at a called strike on the outside corner. Wheeler walked his first time around. Seems to me like Vaca maybe has gotten into a little bit more of a rhythm after that first inning. He's even maybe throwing a tad harder. Breaking ball, check swing, foul tip up the first base side. And Vaca is 1 pitch away from striking out the side. Nobody on, 2 outs, 2 strikes in the inning. Bottom of the third, a 1-0 lead for Bowie. The 0-2 outside for a ball.
Beautiful picturesque sunset here at the ballpark at Bowie.
1-2 in the dirt again, ball 2.
Sun was in the center fielder Owen's face on that E8 that led to the game's only run. It's now gone behind the Bowie High School campus that is behind us to our right. See how that affects the defense moving forward.
2-2 pitch. Chop third base side, fielded on a hop, handled well. The throw is money for out number 3. That'll do it in the bottom of the third inning. To the fourth we go on the Zap Network. We'll be right back after this.
Pools in Texas need servicing all year long. At Rami Pools, LLC, we provide quality pool services such as cleaning, maintenance, and repairs. So call 469-951-0107 for a free estimate and ask for Roberto. Rami Pools, LLC. We're going to make you fall in love with your pool again. Hablamos español.
A-frames that bring their A game. The next time you need to get your brand out to the community, go with the printers who are in your community, Ika Signs. With everything from wall signs to banners, printed tees to hats, Ika can even do same-day rush orders on select products. Visit ikasigns.com/shop to see their full list. That's ikasigns.com/shop. Ika Signs, a partner of Zach Arnold Productions.
Looking for the most unique gift for your student or athlete? Local Legends Figures has you covered. The custom 6-inch figures are designed with you and your legend in mind. They even immortalize yours truly with a custom, never-before-used model to create a Zach the Voice figure for my 30th birthday. Huge thanks to our friends at Local Legends Figures. See pricing and place orders at locallegendsfigures.com. Fans, in the midst of all the excitement, we breezed through that third inning without reminding you that the third inning is presented by our friends at Ika Signs. They're located in the heart of Arlington and can offer same-day production on certain rush orders while offering a wide catalog of custom print materials. Call 817-617-2229 to find out how Ika Signs can help your brand's visibility. If I'm Ika Signs, I think I'm a little less worried about getting that reader in and a little more interested in hearing what an MLBer has to say Flores leads things off for the Martin half of the fourth. It's low and away for ball number 1.
Flores has really settled into a nice rhythm, Zach, keeping this Martin offense at bay. Some nice defense played behind him as well.
Cannot quite find the zone there on that tailing away pitch. 2-1 the count. Chips into the glove there for strike number 2. I was also reminded that all of the outfield signs, including Vernon Wells' number 10 that was unveiled, was made by our friends at Eka Signs. They do some high quality work, as this one is high in the air, lofted to right field. Making the grab in fair territory is Wheeler for the F9 to start the fourth.
Nice play defensively by Wheeler. That was up in the wind a bit there, Zach. I honestly thought it might get out of play, but it just kind of hung there for a moment, and Wheeler's able to put it away.
It's a good defensive adjustment by the right fielder, having to come from his position up and to his side in order to corral it. That one is inside to Garen Powers for ball 1. The wind is blowing in that center field flagpole. Looks like it's moving inward from right center towards the third baseline. That may have been what caught it on that attempt on the previous play, as it's quickly 3 balls here to Powers, who struck out his last at-bat. Henderson does find the zone on the inside corner there, though.
Henderson, a very fast worker.
And he works it full here to bring it to 3-2. Countdown on the scoreboard, 3, 2, 1. Payoff pitch on the way already. And he'll foul it into the chain link.
Henderson likes to model his game after Bryce Harper. Not bad celebrity to model yourself after when you look at baseball players.
High energy, high intensity. Powers will draw the free pass, though, as that one goes low and away, and he doesn't offer at it.
Traffic on the base pass early for the Arlington Martin Warriors. They just have kind of shot themselves in the foot with untimely, unforced errors and being unable to come up with that clutch base knock with runners in scoring position.
Speaking of base hits, Abunasar, one of 2 players on the lineup with doubles in this ball game. Neither time have those double hitters been able to come home, as he looks at ball 1 here. Got a good shot to left field. It bounced off of the wall, but was left stranded in scoring position. He's got Powers, his teammate, running at first now. Got a little too far away, and De Leon let him know about it. All 2 at the plate.
Want to keep that secondary lead honest, Zach. And if you have a chance to back pick like he did there, maybe you can keep him a little closer to the bag after that pitch.
Swing and a miss there to bring it to 2-1. Bowie's middle infield has been practicing turning double plays for situations such as this. During tournament play, we're able to get a lot of fielder's choices on the lead runner, but haven't been able to turn 2 quite as well, as a soft lob goes over first there.
Infield is at double play depth up the middle. Third baseman in on the cut of the grass.
2-1 to Abunasar. Curveball drops in for the called strike. Drop in the bucket. Good battle by Henderson. Got him swinging. And the check down to first. It's a bang-bang play. Wheeler thought he was tagged, but it is just out number 2. Strike him out, no throw him out.
I don't know about that one, Zach, that one was really close, and the way that the tag was put down, I don't know if the umpire had the right angle to really make that call, but he looked out to me. Either way, good-looking breaking pitch.
Fourth strikeout of the inning as runner goes. De Leon fires the tag. Hit in time.
Proving once again that crime doesn't pay.
That'll take us to the fourth inning stretch after a great stretch and throw by De Leon. The fourth inning stretch is presented by Taqueria Taco Express, featuring a wide, authentic menu. Taco Express can solve any Mexican food craving. Order online to collect points for free food, or get 5 tacos and a large agua fresca on Taco Tuesdays for just $10. We'll be back with this 1-0 ball game right after this. Taqueria Taco Express is now the official taqueria of Zach Arnold Productions. They feature 3 convenient locations, including 2 in Arlington and the original site on the Grand Prairie border at I-20 in Great Southwest. Their Taco Tuesday special includes 5 tacos and an agua fresca for just $10. Made from scratch with authentic recipes, you can place single or bulk orders online by going to taqueriatacoexpress.com.
If you're a small business owner looking for reliable insurance coverage, or perhaps just navigating the complexities of Medicare, look no further. Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services is a family-owned, independent agency with over 50 years of experience, specializing in tailored insurance solutions for small businesses and their owners. Whether you need property, liability, commercial auto, or even life and health insurance, their agents can help you feel secure in selecting the insurance you need. Call April Chapman or Jason Ott today at 817-265-3346.
Runs at a bit of a premium here at the ballpark at Bowie. The Volunteers got 1 unearned run off of an E8 at the expense of the center fielder, Owen. And since then, it's been the Bowie defense locking things down, getting a double play in center field, and then getting this caught stealing that ended the previous half frame. We'll see if they can generate some runs here in the bottom of the 4th. It was around the 4th and 5th inning of the previous game against Martin in which the Volunteers were able to pull away, Tim.
You know, we wondered if maybe the appearance of Vernon Wells would inspire the team tonight, as this one hit on the ground towards third.
Openshaw with a high throw that's wide, and he's safe.
So we wondered if it would inspire the team, and we were thinking offensively, right? But I think the 3-time Gold Glove Award winner Vernon Wells has inspired this team defensively, because they have flashed some serious level tonight.
Openshaw commits the E5 on the throw to put the leadoff man aboard. And Openshaw committed a couple of defensive errors in game 1 of this series as well. Let's hope that this does not come back to haunt the Warriors. If you're a Martin fan, Bowie excited at the prospect of maybe playing some small ball with the bottom of the lineup coming up here. The 7-hole hitter, Josh Caber, flew out to center his last time up.
Size lead at first base for Ferguson.
First pitch called, strike on the outside corner. Caber went 1 for 3 in the game 1 matchup against Martin. Got a ribby on that base hit and was hit by a pitch. He does square up for the bunt, and it will go foul into home plate.
Runner was moving on the play as well. It was almost executed perfectly.
Almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades is what I've been told.
Accurately.
Those that want to go a little bit further, I've also heard my parents say that it also almost counts in thermonuclear warfare, but that's probably
That's fair. You can get close enough.
That's probably touches. We won't go that far. I do go over to first to check on Ferguson. He's back without a tag applied. 1 run scored in inning number 1, and then a bunch of goose eggs out on that right field scoreboard. Caber hoping to find a way to break that, and he will take a look at a ball on the outside corner. I was ready to see him get rung up there.
I was going to say, I don't know if it's Caber's birthday or not, but he was just given a gift.
time like the present to take advantage of it. The 1-2. Lofted in the air. Shallow right field. Who will make the call for it? It's the right fielder, Abunasar, who will record the F9 and the first out of the inning.
Now the catcher, De Leon, who made such a great throw and play to end the previous top half of the inning, has a chance to put another run on the board with a 1-out at bat in the bottom of the inning.
De Leon was 1 for 2 in the Tuesday/Wednesday game. Drew a walk and reached on an E4 over the course of his at-bats. Another check of Ferguson, courtesy tag, not in time. De Leon will have to wait a few more seconds for the first pitch of the at-bat.
Interested to see if they let him swing away or if they put the sacrifice back on.
It's always a touchy subject when you have 1 out as opposed to no outs. The official first pitch of the at-bat. Runner is going. It's a high curveball. The throw is low, but the tag is in time.
That was a great play by the shortstop for the Warriors, Hazen, who handled it. Was a poor throw, realistically, Zach. That throw was low and it was wide of the bag, and he put it on the runner, Ferguson, with a fantastic tag.
Ball 1 at the plate, 2 away now as the base is clear. Swinging away, and it'll be a whiff for a 1-1 count.
No longer an RBI opportunity with the caught stealing.
Way inside, almost clipped his jersey for ball 2.
Wind seems to be picking up a bit as the sun goes down.
Swirling a little bit too. It had been coming in from right field. As that one is foul.
Zach, I've noticed a trend lately in high school baseball is when you get that runner on with less than 2 outs, it almost seems like the immediate move is to sacrifice him over.
That is the default a lot of times. Just to try to get into scoring position. 2-2 is going to get fouled out of play here as Heisey moves into foul territory from his first base position to watch it go into the parking lot.
As I may have mentioned on different broadcasts, I am a Houston sports fan, and one of the Astros' philosophy was we don't give away outs, right? They did not do that. They didn't sacrifice. They wanted to. You only get 27 outs. Why give them away? Fouled back. But I do like the strategy at this level because, as we talked about before, you got to put the ball in play, make them make the plays to beat you. And worst case scenario, your sacrifice is successful, and you have a runner in scoring position. Best case scenario,
it's an error.
Yeah, or you beat it out or whatever it is, right? But put pressure on the defense.
Defense is going to watch this one go out of play. Inbay took his helmet off from behind the catcher's position, and Heisey went to take a look at it again, and it'll stay 2 balls and 2 strikes. A good battle here for De Leon against the starting pitcher, Ian Vaca.
Vaca's been as good as we've seen from Henderson. Vaca's been just as good, just the 1 unearned run.
And the count works full as it's just a bit outside.
That one was a little bit more outside than the previous gift that was given to Caber. But another good-looking pitch and great eye from De Leon to lay off of that one.
Payoff pitch. Low and away, and the catcher wins that battle, drawing the base on balls. He will get issued a courtesy runner, most likely, so that he can go and put his catcher's gear back on. Number 8, Ryan Parker, running at first base now. And it will take us to the 9 spot hitter in Andrew Vega. He was 1 for 4 in the previous game against Martin. Check of Parker over at first. He is back in time.
He was hit by a pitch in his first appearance in the second inning.
Another hit by pitch puts Parker in scoring position. Little 2-out rally. Swing and a miss in the first pitch of this at-bat. Across town on the other broadcast here on the Zap Network, Colts lead Sam Houston by a score of 4-1 on future Colts night in the 4th inning. But the Texans do have a man in scoring position trying to cut into that lead. That one also on the YouTube channel. Tops and Jot Holly on the call for that one as this one tails away for a ball. The next series is between those Arlington Colts and the Bowie Volunteers. Since we don't have to put a single camera at 2 different venues, we will be issuing a multicam broadcast during next week's series between Arlington and Bowie. You don't want to miss out on that as we unveil some new toys here on the Zap Network.
How about that, Zach? 2-camera broadcast
for a high school game.
Nobody's doing that.
1-2 here. Chopper to short. 2 hops. The only play will be to first. And it'll be in time. Vega is retired on the 6-3. Parker is left stranded. And it remains a 1-0 ball game as we head to the 5th inning here at the ballpark at Bowie. Stick around. We've got a barn burner final couple of innings here on Zach Arnold Productions, presented by John Wade Roofing.
If you're like me and need printed materials to get your brand out there to the community, then you need Eka Signs. Conveniently located in central Arlington, Eka features a wide selection of shirts, hats, banners, yard signs, acrylics, magnets for your car, magnets for your fridge, tumblers, A-frames, and more. Call Eka at 817-617-2229 for more information and tell them Zap sent you.
Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to hear Zach talk about things beyond the realm of sport, catch him with me, Ben Hart, on the Intergalactic Peace Coalition podcast. For nearly a decade, we've been geeking out on IPC about our favorite nerdy things. We have a back catalog of over 350 episodes diving into sci-fi and fantasy stories like no one else. Find the Intergalactic Peace Coalition at ipcpodcast.podbean.com or download via your favorite podcast app.
Welcome back to the ballpark at Bowie, where the Bowie Volunteers lead Martin by the narrowest of margins. 1-0 the score after one unearned run plated in the bottom of the first inning, and we'll see if that holds up. As the Volunteers look to move to 5-1 in district play, one of the best starts they've had in district in the better part of a decade. Henderson back out for another inning of work, and he will be facing Jacoby Hazen, who was at the plate during the caught stealing of Garen Powers. So he will get a full at-bat here as he looks at ball number 2. Very excited to have you along for this Friday night lights, as it were. As a strike is issued on the corner. We cover Friday night lights for Arlington High and Bowie football, as well as home games for the Sam Houston Texans. Zach Arnold Productions very excited and proud to be bringing you closer to District 8-6A and in particular Arlington ISD athletics better than ever before. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the leadoff man. Henderson turns and fires to Hazen and can't get the call on the lower quadrant of the zone. The count runs full now. Hazen struck out swinging in his last appearance, one of 4 that he has issued, does Henderson, as this one gets fouled off, and the at-bat stays alive. want to give a special shout out to Mr. John Nelson, somebody who covered Arlington ISD for decades, has been a very influential behind-the-scenes partner, offering insights and advice, as well as joining us on a broadcast or two. Currently freelancing for UT Arlington, the last I heard, doing stuff with their baseball and softball teams. Swing and a miss. Henderson gets his 5th K of the evening as Hazen is retired. We also want to extend our love and well wishes to the Peltier family tuning in from the San Angelo area. I understand that they tune in every ball game that we broadcast. So I know you're there, and I know that the Peltier family is a very special part of the Bowie family. Pinch hitting for Owen is going to be number 9 for the Martin Warriors. That's Wiley Koch digging in here in the top of the 5th inning. Wiley Koch, like the soda. One away here as the curveball goes too far inside. Two-and-oh the count now. Swing and a miss. Battling back is Henderson to bring the count to 2 balls and a strike.
I might have an opportunity to make a play on one of those foul balls on my way back from the restroom, Zach. Just avoided me.
Bunch of narrow misses.
Every broadcaster's dream is to make a play.
Called strike 3. Caught him looking out number 2.
Strikeout number 5 of the evening for Henderson.
He actually recorded one just before you got back, so
I got that one.
That is, that should be 6 then.
6 then?
Wiley Koch retired on the backwards K as we go to the top of the order in Devin Luna. All strike.
Luna, the first strikeout victim of the game.
Another strike. Henderson wheeling and dealing, 1 pitch away. See if he can pull it off. No, it's in play, this one. Kaber going to have to charge at it, and the throw is bobbled.
It's a tough play. Kaber put some serious mustard on that ball from not very far away, but it wasn't a bad throw at all. I have to think the error there is going to go on the first baseman.
Not able to complete the catch was Ortega. We'll credit it as an E3 for the time being.
Didn't look like a bad throw to me.
It's a tough play all the way around, but if the play is cleanly completed, that is an out.
Absolutely. It's almost, you don't want to put us, even though you need to rush the throw and you're too close to fire it that hard.
Right. Swing and a miss from Min Bay.
He's 2 times already today, a couple base knocks, both singles. He's done a nice job behind the dish, too, handling his pitcher. Vaca has been really good today.
Called strike and a strike down to first, fielded on the hop there by Ortega.
He also caught Brody Ferguson stealing in the 4th inning behind the plate as well. It's been a strong game for Min Bay so far.
As indeed, credit where due. Battling to keep Martin in it in this tightly contested 1-0 ball game. More than halfway through, we're into the 5th out of 7. This is the closest Martin has been in a while as Henderson feigns to first.
You know, certain colleges, especially in football, are associated with certain position groups.
In play, short. Across the diamond, And in time, certain position groups do what, Tim?
I was just going to say, certain colleges are associated with being good at certain position groups. Penn State, linebacker, Notre Dame, tight end. I think Arlington ISD is the district of the catcher, is what I was going to say. A lot of really good backstops in this district.
There are indeed, and we'll see if that trend continues as we head to the bottom of the fifth here on the Zap Network. It's high school baseball presented by John Wade Roofing.
Las albercas en Texas necesitan servicios durante todo el año. Romy Pools brinda servicios de calidad, incluyendo limpieza, mantenimiento y reparaciones. Llama al número 469-951-0107 para una consulta gratuita y pregunta por Roberto. Romy Pools, haremos que te enamores de tu alberca de nuevo.
John Wade Roofing is celebrating 40 years serving the Arlington area. John Sr. played for Colt football and was the team MVP in '76. He went on to play for TCU, earning all conference honors. The family has a Colt legacy that spans generations and wants to help your family's roofing needs, plus gutters, painting, solar, and more. For more information, go to johnwaderoofing.com. Top of the order as we head to the bottom of the fifth here at the ballpark at Bowie. Zach Arnold and Tim Costello bringing you this 8-6A action as the Volunteers look to head to 5-1 in district, and Martin trying to avoid a 2-4 district start, which would put them well behind the 8-ball, with several teams playing better this year than many pundits expected. Bowie, one of those teams. Lamar is off to a 5-1 start. Haltom has had a pretty solid job in this district start as well. The month of April should be extremely interesting as we try to shake out who the top 4 teams in the district that go to the postseason will be. The interesting note, Tim, the opposite district that 8-6A plays in the first round is 7-6A. In 7-6A is one of the top high school baseball teams in the state, the number 5 ranked Jesuit Rangers. If they finish atop their district, whoever finishes 4th here in 8-6A has to go play Jesuit in the first round. So not only are you fighting for a playoff spot, you're fighting to avoid being the number 4 team.
Yeah, seeding is important, right? As we're seeing in the NCAA tournament right now, where you're seeded matters, and you want to avoid certain matchups early in the playoff bracket if you can, and that's what everyone's trying to do in this district when it looks at playing Jesuit. But that's going to start the inning off with Jackson Turner. We've mentioned, he's a pasta guy. He likes Project X. How about his lunch with a celebrity, Zach? Adam Sandler. I would have to agree. I think the Sandman would be a great lunch.
Lunch and then maybe a game of horse afterwards.
Well, the thing with Sandler, though, you're having lunch with 20 different people with all the impressions he can do.
Well, and he's got an ensemble that likes to hang out with him as well.
Yeah,
he never travels alone. I think his thing is he brings enough people to be able to do a pickup basketball game wherever he goes.
Not a bad plan. Never know when you're going to get a chance to hoop.
This one's a chopper, slow roller to short. Tough play at first that gets made by Hazen as he connects with Heisey for a tough 6-3 putout.
Yeah, that's not your routine ground ball there, because number 1, Jackson Turner can fly up the first baseline. Number 2, that ball had English on it. And number 3, he was coming in hard, moving across the diamond, able to make that play smoothly. I've seen a lot of really nice plays so far from Hazen at shortstop for Martin.
Defense has been the name of the game, as there is one away here in the bottom of the 5th. Swing and a miss from Uribe. 0 for 2 on the evening, hoping to avoid going 0 for 3.
Uribe, a big fan of the home-cooked meal. He said his favorite food, anything his mom makes.
There you go.
And that was not the only guy who answered that, Zach, which leads me to believe I need to be trying some of this food.
Right. We need to be visiting some of the Bowie parents.
Maybe they could just drop a little covered dish up here for us for pregame meal.
Well, I was about to say, it's all of those parents that run the concession stands here at the ballpark at Bowie. So no doubt you get some quality eats when you come out to the ballpark. 1-2 here to Uribe with 1 out.
These are fresh grilled burgers down there. We're talking about people.
In play, right back to the pitcher, Vaca. He will go 3/4 of the way to his first baseman and make the soft toss for out number 2.
Now batting for the Volunteers, the pitcher, number 9, Isaiah
More
Henderson.
good fundamentals from the Martin defense. I think Vaca had a play where he lofted something very high over to High C earlier in the ballgame, took him off of the first base bag, and he just barely hopped back down in time to record the out. This time he closed the gap and made the soft underhand toss for the sure out. Lofting off-speed pitch outside of the zone to Henderson.
He says his walk-up song "Firework" because it gets the people going, Zach. I have to agree. I was dancing up here to that one.
Chipped into the glove for strike 1.
I'm a Katy Perry fan. I'm not afraid to say it.
No, I'm not either.
I'll put it out there for America to hear.
Left shark won me over. Ball 2 makes him dip away, does Henderson, to avoid the hit by pitch. The in-game experience is one of my favorite things about going to any ballpark. And I dare say the ballpark at Bowie offers some of the best in-game entertainment you can get. There's an old school dot race that takes place. You get the 4th inning stretch with Take Me Out to the Ball Game. You get some fresh grilled burgers. You get to hear about famous people like Vernon Wells. Get to tune in on a broadcast if you want to have an even more in-depth experience. There's a lot of great things happening out here in Southeast Arlington.
Something truly being built at Bowie.
This one's going to be sent to the left center gap, in for a base hit, and headed to the wall. Henderson's got his second hit. The throw to second, slide, tag, not in time. It's a double for number 9.
Henderson helping himself with a 2-out double in the 5th inning, hoping Ortega behind him can bring him in again.
Ortega with the contact that went to center field. It was in the face of center fielder Owen, who also had the sun in his face. He wasn't able to bring it in. Sun has set here in the bottom of the 5th, so it's a different dynamic. But we're hoping for similar results. Not a run has come across since the bottom of the 1st inning. Pitch tails away as Henderson takes a very strong lead off of first base. Shortstop Hazen not really covering him or trying to keep him close, so he'll go almost a third, close to halfway up the baseline before he retreats after the pitch.
Ortega, a National Honor Society member, so not only can he do it with the bat, he can do it with the pen and paper as well, Zach. Or probably Chromebook these days.
Yeah,
but
probably.
He's getting it done academically as well as he is athletically. And if you look through this Volunteers lineup, that's not rare. There's a lot of National Honor Society members, student council members, some real true student athletes, I should say, on this ball club.
Vaca sets, looks at second. This one's going to skitter away from Min Bay. Henderson thought about it, but Bay doing a good job of keeping it in front of him. Ortega ahead in the count now. Trying to find a way to bring in that man in scoring position.
Would love another run, Zach, at this point in the game to just give you that little bit of cushion. You love that you have the lead, but at any point, 1 run is never enough. And you have an RBI opportunity here for Ortega.
He's now covering the bag as a strike is issued on the low and inside corner.
It looked low to me.
It looked low to me too.
Still a hitter-friendly count for Ortega. wonder if Vaca's nearing the end of his leash. The velo seems to have dropped a bit.
A little bit of trickeration from the middle infield of Martin as Hazen retreats, but Luna shades into second base on the check down. A lot of communication coming from the Bowie dugout, yelling clear or ball, depending on if Henderson needs to retreat. Too far inside, it's ball 3.
You mentioned the communication. That allows Henderson to focus on what's going on behind him, right? You don't need to, in front of him and not what's behind him, because your teammates are paying attention to that. That's
right.
That's what that's there for.
Vaca a little preoccupied with the man in scoring position. This one's in play. 2-hopper to third. Throw is in time for the 5-3. Ortega's retired, and Henderson's insurance run is left stranded. We're through 5 complete here, and it's still just 1-0. We've got a good one ahead of us. Stick around. It's high school baseball on Zach Arnold Productions, presented by John Wade Roofing.
Hey Arlington residents, if you're like me and tired of rising insurance rates, then it's time to make the switch to Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services. Since 1984, they've been your trusted local insurance experts, offering competitive quotes for all your needs. Auto, homeowners, umbrella, renters, boats, and even classic cars. Why settle for less when you can get the best? Compare coverages today and see how much you can save by visiting chapman-cornelius.com. Chapman Cornelius, your local insurance partner since 1984.
Taquería Taco Express es la taquería oficial de Zach Arnold Productions. Extraordinaria y auténtica comida mexicana, aquí encontrarás el mejor menú para el paladar más exigente. Puedes visitarlos en una de sus 3 sucursales ubicadas en Arlington y en Green Prairie. No te pierdas de su grandioso especial todos los martes, Taco Tuesday, de 5 tacos y un agua fresca por solo $10. Para encontrarnos o hacer un pedido, visítalos a su página web taqueriatacoexpress.com.
Top of the 6th inning here at the ballpark at Bowie. Some madness on the diamond as we take a look at our March Madness brackets. Tim, you were showing me a prediction that has been going very well for you in the 99th percentile.
99.8 percentile.
99.8. Very few brackets running more smoothly than that. I'm a few 100,000 places behind you with mine, but something in the 97.7th percentile is still not too shabby.
Not at all.
Better than, fewer than 3% doing better than mine. Chipped into the glove for strike 1 here for the leadoff man. For the Warriors, should be Vaca.
Should be, and I believe it is.
Vaca, Openshaw, and Flores. 3, 4, 5 in the Martin lineup here in the 6th. Anderson's velocity does not seem to have let off, Tim, but his accuracy seems to be tailing away from the zone for now.
You know, pitchers either go one way or the other, right? When they get tired, they don't throw as hard, or they have trouble locating it. With Vaca, it looked to me like he is not throwing as hard. Maybe with Henderson, it's the location when he starts to get a bit fatigued out there. 5 fantastic shutout innings so far.
The 2-2 delivery. Lofted in the air, shallow infield. Played by and grabbed by the second baseman, Caber, for out number 1.
Wreaking havoc on that one off the bat. It looked like it might be shallow center, but by the time it was actually put away, it was Caber at the break of the grass and the dirt.
That'll bring us to Openshaw. 0 for 2 with a couple of pieces of contact that went into the outfield. Unfortunately, both of them were caught, and one of them was a double play. off of the great catch. This one's in play. Caber getting his money's worth in reps this inning as he makes the 4-3 put out for out number 2.
Mentioned Caber getting tested in this 6th inning. A pop-up, a grounder. Now maybe a line drive right at him coming. We'll see from Flores.
Only thing left to do is a line out. He's got the ground out. He's got the fly out. And Henderson's got strike number 1. Henderson alternating between his back step with a high step and pitching out of the stretch. It's an interesting approach. Wonder if it has to do with which pitch he's delivering. Number 2 here.
Wonder if this might be Henderson's last inning.
2-2 with 2 outs.
No action in the bullpen, though.
A lot of Bowie's pitching substitutions tend to come from the field. If somebody warms up, it'll probably be during their at-bat sequence as the count runs full here to Luca Flores. 0 for 2 with a ground out and a fly out in his previous 2 at-bats. The Bowie defense doing a good job of backing up Henderson. Swing and a miss. The filthy off-speeder will end the inning. It's a great outing from Henderson either way, whether this is it for him or he comes back for the 7th. Doing everything in his power to keep Bowie in front. They are clinging to that 1-0 advantage as we head to the bottom of the 6th. This is High School Baseball on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing. We'll be right back. Local Legends Figures immortalizes your athlete's achievements for a lifetime. Featuring 6-inch figures with poses in football, baseball, band, hockey, even lacrosse. Local Legends makes every effort to show their likeness down to every possible uniform detail. To order your custom figure, call 817-681-0319 or email orders at locallegendsfigures.com. Last opportunity for the Volunteers to collect an insurance run as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. And number 20, Ian Vaca, battling with 4 scoreless innings of his own after that 1 unearned run, Tim. Trying to keep the score what it is and see if his offense can wake up after he collects a few outs.
Again, Vaca's right now currently positioned to take a real tough luck loss. He's been fantastic. The only run that's scored this evening has been unearned. But when you look at what Vaca's done, he's struck out his fair share as well. 1, 2, 3 strikeouts, but he's just allowed his defense to make plays behind him. And for the most part, they have. There's been a couple errors this evening. One did, as we mentioned, bring a run around. But overall, guys made pitches when he's needed to.
And unfortunately, the win-loss column will not show how tightly contested this ball game was all around. It's been a very evenly matched game.
True pitchers duel.
Wheeler leading things off, and he'll put this one in play to first base. A very quick 3 unassisted for Josh Heisey.
And I liked what Heisey did in that play, Zach. He went down and just, it's not getting through me. There's no Olay. It's it's a hard hit ground ball with a slower runner. Let's just get our knees in front of it, knock it down, pick it up, and step on the bag. Ferguson reached on an error caught stealing his last time up.
There may have been a defensive substitution, Tim, because I don't believe that's Heisey at first base anymore. This ball 1 is issued here.
We didn't get any kind of notification of that.
I don't believe that's 1-6 at first anymore. As strike 1 gets issued here. That is one of the frustrating components of high school baseball, is sometimes you get notified and sometimes you don't when changes like this are made. Ball too low and inside. We try to be as accurate as possible. As quality of a broadcast as we can.
Especially when we're giving credit for a nice play, right? We want to make sure we're giving credit to the right athlete. Ooh, tough take.
Does move it to ball 3, though, as that appears to be number 17 over at first base now. That's Min Bay, the former catcher. Which means we have a new catcher as this one is sent to short. Hazen. And that one's going to get bobbled by Min Bay on the reception. That was a awkward throw, though, as it bounced in the dirt. That will be an error either way, though.
E6
on the throw.
Second baseman number 4,
So Ferguson reaches on an error both times. Reached on an E5 his last time up, reaches on the E6 here. I see a 6 on the catcher's gear. It may be Heisey who's taken over behind the plate.
What if they swapped?
It's possible.
Confirmation, Heisey is behind the dish.
Now catching for Martin, number 16, Josh Heisey.
That means that Min Bay is now in first. Interesting decision. What if he was just getting a knees arrest?
Runner goes on the bunt attempt. There's nobody to catch it as it goes wide into shallow center field. That's just a straight steal.
Almost a really nice tag made by Hazen as he kind of attempted to catch it on the run and lay the tag in one sweeping motion.
In one move, yeah.
Just unfortunately, he didn't catch it.
Ferguson was caught stealing his last time reaching on an error. This time moves into scoring position with one out here in the bottom of the 6th. Baca looks at the new runner in scoring position, and time is called by Caber at the plate. Baca comes set. And the 2-0. That's going to skitter away, and it's an extra 90 feet for Ferguson. Ball 3 at the plate on the wild pitch, and the insurance run just 90 feet away.
Zach, I find it interesting. We talked previously about how good Min Bay had been behind the plate, and now that wild pitch is not on IC in any way whatsoever. But the stolen base, the throw attempt wasn't a good throw.
Right.
Maybe to me it looks like the composure on the mound isn't quite the same for Vaca as it was throughout this game. 1-0 game in the bottom of the 6th. I wonder why you make that change defensively.
Sacrifice allows the runner to tag up here. Bunt is squared up for. I bet he pulls back. He does. And he'll take a look at strike 1.
Well, you have the infield already playing in, and when guys rotate for the sacrifice bunt, all of a sudden those holes get even bigger. And when they're playing in, you have such short time to react to some of these bang-bang plays.
Well, if it gets past Vaca, it's an easy RBI because there's nobody near that second base bag. Time gets called as Caber takes a couple of practice cuts with a hitter's count and the insurance run at third.
Got to make sure you put the ball in play. Cannot strike out in this at-bat.
He does put this one in play. That's got a charge to left field, and it's hooking foul.
Ooh, that had the distance, Zach. It just did not stay fair.
It was over the fence, but too far to the left as the count runs full to Caber. That might be one of the best cuts I've seen him take all district.
He turned on that.
Timing was just a little bit off as he sent foul down that baseline. So now it's a countdown on the scoreboard. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Ferguson at third. Payoff pitch. Foul out of play, and the at-bat stays alive. What a good battle between Tabor and Vaca. You can sense the tension in this at-bat, Tim.
This is a big one, Zach. There's a runner in scoring position at third base, less than 2 outs in a tight one-run game, and Martin has 3 outs left to play with. Right now, this is just the biggest at-bat of the game to this point.
Vaca comes set. And another payoff pitch. And another foul out of play. Tabor sending them straight back behind him, which indicates that he's got the timing right, but it's the bottom of the ball flipping the top of his bat on these swings.
Yeah, he's all over this guy's fastball. At some point, you've got to be able to locate a breaking pitch or try and find a way to get him off your heater, but right now, Tabor is all over it.
And this one's going to get away. Here comes Ferguson. And Bowie takes the lead as Tabor goes to second. He is safe as the Martin defense was lackadaisical in retrieving that ball 4, and Tabor takes an extra 90 feet as Bowie takes a 2-0 lead.
That's a fantastic heads-up play by Tabor because Ferguson kind of slow-walked it once he realized, hey, no one's going to really make an attempt on me. And then at that point, everyone kind of just let it happen, and Tabor took advantage. And like I thought, it looked to me like Vaca was getting exhausted, and that's going to be it for him. And unfortunately, this young man's going to be in position to take a loss today, but he does not deserve that. He's been wonderful. Pitched a fantastic ball game, but someone's got to win and someone's got to lose.
That signal from the coach is the sign of a pitching change. The next time you need signs, banners, printed shirts, or other print materials, Ika Signs is the local printer to call. 817-617-2229. New pitcher after the break here on Zap.
A-frames that bring their A game. The next time you need to get your brand out to the community, go with the printers who are in your community, Ika Signs. With everything from wall signs to banners, printed tees to hats, Ika can even do same-day rush orders on select products. Visit ikasigns.com/shop to see their full list. That's ikasigns.com/shop. Ika Signs, a partner of Zach Arnold Productions.
John Wade Roofing has been serving the Arlington area since 1982, but the Wade legacy runs much deeper in the city of Arlington. A pioneer family that has had roots going back decades, John Wade and Company saw relatives attend the Cooper Street Arlington High campus and has had members play in Colt athletics for decades, and they're looking forward to serving this community for decades to come. Find out more at johnwaderoofing.com.
Well, we seem to have discovered the mystery as to why the catching substitution was made, Tim. Now taking the mound for the Martin Warriors is number 17, Min Bay. Bay now on the mound as Vaca will take over for Bay at first. You get Bay out of his catcher's gear, put him somewhere in the infield until you feel the time is right to make the substitution, and then you don't have to worry about taking all of your catcher's gear off.
I'm excited to see Bay pitch because warming up, he's showing a nasty breaking ball, Zach. This could be a pretty exciting couple outs he gets to work.
Tabor is in scoring position with just 1 out for Roberto De Leon. See if another insurance run comes across. They don't sponsor it, but every time I say insurance, I think of Chapman Cornelius. We'll just call it a Chapman Cornelius insurance run to make it a 2-0 ball game. As Bowie still has a couple of outs left to work with in their half of the 6th. And then Martin going to have to climb that mountain a little bit higher if they want to tie it up and send it to extras, or by a miracle take the lead. Runs at an absolute premium in this ball game tonight.
It's been a well-pitched game for both teams. You mentioned runs are at a premium, only 1 earned, 1 unearned run in this ball game.
Would you call Ferguson's an earned run if he scored on a wild pitch?
I guess not. Nobody. I mean, he reached on a wild. So maybe possibly no earned runs in this game.
Strike 1 at the plate to De Leon.
His earned though. He reached on
Because
a walk.
because he
Nope.
earned his way aboard.
He did not. He reached on an E6. So that is not a. That's another unearned run.
Another
so two unearned runs against Vaca tonight. Tough luck.
The 0-1 from Bay, looping curveball too far inside.
That thing snaps. It's really more of a slurve, I think, or what they're calling a sweeper nowadays, where it's vertical and horizontal. He almost starts it at the batter, lets it come back into the batter's box. Like the way that Vernon Wells was talking about that Mariano Rivera cutter. If it's coming at you, swing. If it's at the middle of the plate, let it go.
Let it go.
Easier said than done when you're facing Mariano Rivera.
Probably just a little bit.
If it was that easy for him, I think he wouldn't have been the best closer in baseball, right?
Probably. Arlington pulling away from Sam Houston in their 6th inning. As this one goes too low for ball number 2. That game also on the Zap Network. The Colts looking to collect their 4th district win. So it would be 4-2 Arlington against 5-1 Bowie. A battle for the district lead on the Zap Network next week if these scores hold up.
If I'm Bowie in this situation, I'm testing Heisey. I want to put some pressure on him. He's
force him to make a good throw to third.
Maybe try and swipe a bag with less than 2 outs. But that's my thought, Zach.
3 balls and a strike here to De Leon, who has already walked today. He will not take the free pass here as he fouls that one out of play to run the count full. As long as a double play does not occur, Andrew Vega taking cuts in the on-deck circle. Battle at the plate here for De Leon as he fouls that one back and keeps the at-bat alive.
Why do it right here? Payoff incoming. I would send him.
Bay finally agrees on the pitch. And ball 4 will be issued to put another man aboard for Andrew Vega. 2 walks collected by De Leon. His on-base percentage is extremely good tonight.
2 walks collected for De Leon, 2 walks in the inning to go with an error.
Parker running for De Leon at first.
Vega now up, looking for his first hit of the night. He reached via a painful hit by pitch in the 2nd inning and grounded out in the 4th. Is there a hit by pitch that isn't painful though, Zach?
Depends on the type of velocity you get hit with.
That's fair.
If it's one of those soft looping curveballs, probably leaves less of a bruise than somebody that's clipping the high 80s.
I wouldn't have minded like a Tim Wakefield knuckleball on the back. I think that would have probably been okay.
That would probably feel more like a massage. Strike 1 issued here to Vega. It's 1-1.
Did you let Chapman drill you for $50?
Aroldis Chapman.
For $50.
For 50, maybe 100.
Okay.
And I get to pick where?
Right in the back. Right in the meat of the back.
Square of the back.
Yep.
Sure. For 100. Maybe not 50. I have standards.
I don't think that many amounts of money that I went 105 mile an hour heat in the middle of my back. You're a brave man, Zachary.
As long as he doesn't sever my spine. Depends.
Well, that's my fear.
Depends on if a 105 can do that. Runners are going. It's a bunt up the baseline. It's a good one. And both men move into scoring position for the top of the order. Perfectly executed hit and run sacrifice bunt for Jackson Turner.
Turner looking for his 2nd knock of the game. He had a single in the 2nd. He has robbed in the 5th. A great play made on a tough infield chopper. Took a hit away.
Haber moves to third. Parker to second. This one's in play. It's going to be a hopper to third. And the throw is in time. So Bowie puts two in scoring position, but they get the insurance run that they were looking for before that. It's now 2-0 as we head to the final 3 outs. Don't go anywhere. This is High School Baseball on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing. We'll be right back.
Pools in Texas need servicing all year long. At Rami Pools, LLC, we provide quality pool services such as cleaning, maintenance, and repairs. So call 469-951-0107 for a free estimate and ask for Roberto. Rami Pools, LLC. We're going to make you fall in love with your pool again. Hablamos español.
If you're a small business owner looking for reliable insurance coverage, or perhaps just navigating the complexities of Medicare, look no further. Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services is a family-owned, independent agency with over 50 years of experience, specializing in tailored insurance solutions for small businesses and their owners. Whether you need property, liability, commercial auto, or even life and health insurance, their agents can help you feel secure in selecting the insurance you need. Call April Chapman or Jason Ott today at 817-265-3346.
Welcome to what could potentially be the final 3 outs of the ball game, and Henderson is coming back out to try to get the complete game shutout. If the score can stay what it is, Tim.
And you know, Zach, I should have paid closer attention to the bullpen area during the offensive side of that 6th inning for Bowie, but I don't know if anybody warmed up or not. That's on me.
Well, I think this is Henderson's game probably one way or another as Garen Powers leads off the top of the 7th inning. First pitch swinging, he'll foul it out of play.
Yeah, Powers struck out his first time up, walked, and then was caught stealing in the 4th. So we know his superpower is not stolen bases.
Wonder if there's any relation to Austin.
I was thinking Kenny.
The 0-1 is a called strike 2.
Did you ever watch Eastbound and Down, Zach?
I saw the original Smokey and the Bandit. I don't know if I saw Eastbound and Down.
Eastbound and Down is a baseball series.
I see. I'm not even in the right ballpark.
On the former HBO, now Max, starring, what's his name? The guy from Gemstones, and hit into the air in right field pretty well.
Wheeler having to turn around, but he will collect it for the F9 and for out number 1.
Danny McBride, pardon me, that's who I was thinking of.
There you go.
Plays a washed-up baseball player turned high school substitute PE teacher.
That's quite a contrast.
Who then makes the wild journey back to Major League Baseball. Highly inappropriate for children. Unbelievably
I was about to say, should we be promoting this on a high school broadcast?
Well, it's a high school PE teacher.
Curveball drops in for strike 1 to Abunasar. He got a big hit to left field in his first at-bat, then struck out in his last one. Strike 2. Henderson seems like he's feeling it here as he's trying to shut this game down. Kicks and fires. Checks swing. He does not go around and does not get the call.
Henderson thought he had it.
He was ready to dance around a little bit in celebration. Come back for another 2-strike situation, though. 1 ball, 2 strikes. To the right fielder, Abunasar. Swing and a miss. The Bowie faithful are happy to see that the Martin Warriors are 1 out away from getting swept by Bowie.
2 outs in his 7th inning. 4 hits allowed in the game so far for Henderson. Here's the impressive part, Zach. He hasn't allowed a base knock since the 3rd inning. He's only allowed 2 base runners in that time period. 1 a walk, 1 an error.
Defense backing him up.
Defense has been much better tonight for the Volunteers.
First pitch to Jacoby Hazen, who is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. That's ball 1. Fans, a reminder to stay tuned for the postgame show presented by John Wade Roofing at the immediate conclusion of this ball game, as strike 1 is issued. 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 away here, top of the 7th. Henderson high and tight for a ball.
It looked like last inning, Velo might have been down a touch, but now Henderson, he's got a little something extra he kind of stored away for this last inning, it looks like.
Seems re-energized a bit as time gets called at the plate by Hazen.
I don't know if there's a pitch count on Henderson at this point, but
I'm sure somebody has one, but I don't know if we have one up here. 2-2. As the strike gets called, Martin down to their final strike of the ball game.
Faithful on their feet.
Swing doesn't get the call. Count runs full.
Left side of the infield thought that was it there, Zach, but do not, as you say, get the call.
We'll have to do it again. This one's in play and hooking foul. Chasing it was Ortega. Could not bring it in.
Ortega's got a pretty long, lengthy frame, just not long enough to reel that one in.
Another payoff pitch. And another foul. Out of play along that first baseline. Balls, strikes, payoff again. This one's fouled off again.
Not going down easily.
Hazen keeps sending it along that first baseline, indicating he's a little bit late on the swing.
Trust your breaking pitch enough to go to it right here, Zach. That's the question for Henderson. You've thrown several fastballs in a row. Are you willing to snap off a curveball in a full count? Answer is yes, but doesn't get the call.
He was ready to celebrate, but he'll have to face one more batter as Hazen gets the free pass.
I think the umpire is right there. That one looked outside to me.
It was a bit away.
I think he more expected Hazen to chase more than anything.
Pinch hitter.
Number 25. 25. Rowan.
Jaden Sprouse. Sprouse representing Martin's final out now with a man aboard. Strike is called.
Being caught off the bench for his first appearance.
0-1. Another big cut and can't connect. Faithful making noise for Henderson. And again, that tailing away pitch is too far away for ball number 1.
I don't mind that pitch on 0-2, though.
I don't either. Swing! Miss! Ball game! Bowie wins the pitcher's duel and sweeps the Martin Warriors. 2-0 the final after a 6-3 final earlier in the week. They improved to 14-4 on the year, 5-1 in 8-6A, solidifying their spot atop first place in the district.
Vernon Wells' night ends with a W. He brought the secret sauce this week. The Volunteers, Zach, you mentioned he stopped by Monday and he talked to the team. They get the win midweek, they get the win at the end of the week, and they brought out the brooms tonight.
Postgame show presented by John Wade Roofing is coming up right after this. Bowie fans, you're going to want to stick around.
Taqueria Taco Express is now the official taqueria of Zach Arnold Productions. They feature 3 convenient locations, including 2 in Arlington and the original site on the Grand Prairie border at I-20 in Great Southwest. Their Taco Tuesday special includes 5 tacos and an agua fresca for just $10. Made from scratch with authentic recipes, you can place single or bulk orders online by going to taqueriatacoexpress.com.
Hey, this is John Wade Jr., Colt Football 97, class of 98. And the next time you have a roofing issue, be sure and call Arlington's favorite roofer, John Wade Roofing. Look us up on the internet at johnwaderoofing.com.
Welcome back to the ballpark at Bowie, where the Volunteers collect their 14th win of the year. And it's only midway through district competition, Tim. Last year, the Volunteers only won 15 games in the whole season. They are off to a rousing start to the season and now atop first place in the district.
When you can start winning games early in the season, Zach, you build that positive momentum and you start to believe that you are, in fact, a good baseball team. You may have to tell it to yourself over and over again early in the year, but when all of a sudden you've won 14, you've won 15 games, then you look up and say, you know what? We are a pretty darn good team this year, and they're starting to play like it out here on the field, especially in this district season.
No bigger confidence boost than splitting with Martin last season and then getting the sweep this season. I can't tell you how long it's been since the Volunteers have taken 3 out of 4 from the Martin Warriors, who now fall to 6-10 on the year, 2-4 in 8-6A. The race to the finish line is going to be starting next week in the month of April, and it's going to be an intense few weeks for the Volunteers as they will be playing the Arlington Colts next week in what is going to be a de facto fight for first place. The Colts are currently leading across town by a score of 7-1 against Sam Houston, which will put them at 4-2 in the district. So it'll be the 4-2 Colts against the 5-1 Volunteers back here at the ballpark at Bowie on Tuesday night.
Basically, I think what you're saying is, long story short, Zap Network has you covered for the best baseball in Arlington ISD right now.
Absolutely, and it'll be a multi-camera setup since we cover both teams with an individual camera. When they play each other, we've got an extra camera to play around with. So not only are you going to get one of the best series of the season, but you'll get it in a way that has not been seen before in this district.
Production value, who dis?
I'm telling you, man. But it's a fun one tonight as Isaiah Henderson gets the complete game shutout. But we were mentioning that Vaca battled really, really hard on the other side for Martin. He had an impressive outing, but going back to something you said, somebody had to win, and tonight it was Bowie on 2 unearned runs.
2 unearned runs, absolutely backbreaking. But at the end of the day, it's a game, and someone has to win. Vaca, a tough luck loser tonight, but at the end of the day, both these guys battled. Both these guys pitched their tails off, and hey, it's Vernon Wells night, right? Home team had to find a way to pull this one out.
And that is exactly what they did. Special thanks to our friends at John Wade Roofing for being our title partners, our Camera 2 sponsors, and our post-game show sponsors this season. John Wade Sr. played for Arlington High and was their team MVP in '76, and then went on to play for TCU and UTA football, earning all conference and conference champion honors. After a stint with the Houston Oilers, he started roofing in '82 and never looked back. His legacy on the gridiron is now matched by the legacy the company has built in the community for over 40 years. The next time you have roofing needs, gutters, painting, solar, or more, call the family that does more at 817-265-5520. Tim, any final thoughts before we call it a night here at Bowie High?
Just an unbelievable experience. So happy to have been a part of what's going to be a special night here in the Bowie Volunteer annals of history, right? You had an opportunity to see that first number retired out there in left center field. We were fortunate enough to have Vernon on the broadcast. He was an unbelievable guest, an unbelievable partner in what we're doing here tonight. Just very thankful, very fortunate that we were part of the process tonight.
Thank you all for tuning into tonight's broadcast and for supporting local businesses and local broadcasters by doing so. Thank you to Vernon Wells for your guest appearance. Thank you to the staff here at Bowie High School for your accommodations. But most importantly, Let's go, Bowie. We'll see you all on Tuesday for Bowie versus Arlington here at the ballpark at Bowie on the Zap Network. First pitch scheduled for 7 p.m. That's going to do it for us tonight, though. For Tim Costello, I'm Zach Arnold, thanking you for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Good night.